Hmm. Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another webinar. So for you guys today, I'm going to break down GJ, gold, and then US 30. Then we'll get into a Q&A. So when it comes to US 30, price ultimately has been making new lows, which in a situation like this, again, just with you trading with the trend alone, which right now clearly is bearish, you already have an edge in the markets because we're simply just going to be looking to trade along with this trend and not go against it. So with that information that you have on the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, which ultimately you should just be looking to sell with this trend until you were given reasons otherwise, right? You already have an edge in the markets, and we're simply here to exploit that edge to make a profit. So, I mean, you guys have seen me sell US 30 like literally day after day after day. And then when it comes to a point where price is already breaking all of these previous structure levels that we've seen literally since March of 21, right? You literally have to go back into the past, pretty much around COVID levels, and trade with those previous structure levels and base your next trades off of those structure levels. So as of right now, US 30, the kind of two main areas I'm looking at right now, which one of my targets today was 29,000 flat or 290, depending on what platform you're trading. That's going to be our current resistance level because price is trading under 29,000. It can also hold the support. It depends on how the next trade or on how this daily candlestick closes. But as of right now, we're going to be looking for 29,000 to hold as resistance. Whereas you guys could see, if we just simply go back into the past, we have support, we have resistance, and then again, we have support in this range here. So that is going to be our current resistance level that we're going to be looking at. And our next major area of support is going to be 28,260, which you guys could see is support throughout this entire range. And we do have resistance along this area too. So if price continues to go bearish, I'm going to be looking for price to come down into this range here, which is a big push. We have Powell speaking tomorrow, so we got to see if Jerome Powell does have a big influence on tomorrow with whatever he says. Now, you could have pretty much based any trade in the last few days off of, again, our previous COVID levels, which these are our COVID highs here. So roughly in the range of like 29,500 to 29,600, you could have looked to take a trade. And what I mean by that is right once price broke under, you could have just waited for the following trading day to come up, retest the area, and then look for price to continue to go short, which ultimately that happened earlier this morning, right? If we break this down to a lower time frame, we see let me undo that. We see a break under previous resistance, which now it's holding as resistance again. Notice how our previous area of resistance didn't really hold as support, kind of just broke through, came back up, tested the area, and held as resistance. We saw sellers come in and push price down. And this resistance level held for the next literally few days to follow, which you could have based any trade off of this area. Once you see the break, the retest, and we see price continue to go down, you could have looked to continue to sell once price came up into this area. Because again, we're only looking to sell at major resistance levels and looking to buy at major support levels. But just because price is at an area of support, just like we saw right here, ultimately doesn't mean that you're just going to start looking to take buys. Because again, the overall trend is bearish. So what we're going to do in situations like this is if the trend is bearish, we're going to wait for price to break a support level, come back up, test it, and then look to sell at that support level if that previous area forms as resistance, which that's literally what happened here. And that's how I was able to catch today's move. We had a break under support, price pulled back up into support, held as resistance, and it continued to hold as resistance, which ultimately created a great trading opportunity. Notice price reject 29,600 and go all the way down to 2,900, which ultimately that was today's plan for the trade that I did take. If we break this down to a lower time frame, basically I was short throughout this range up here, and I got out somewhere along this area over here, and I didn't hold to my target of 2,900 just because of the choppiness that we saw today. I mean, when 9:30 market open, price pumped all the way up to literally the highest point of resistance, which ultimately I could have taken a position there because that's initially where I wanted to take my first sell position, but it just simply didn't happen. We had price come all the way down and then pull back up, and then we had another, again, a move up and then come back down. So this hour, 2 hours of choppiness definitely affected my trading decisions because I just didn't want to get caught in choppiness like this again. So I ended up closing my position early. Ultimately, I did make a profit, but again, like I'm still working on trying to hold my positions for as long as possible. It's just the volatility with US 30 can make that very difficult at times, especially when you're trading pretty hefty position sizes, such as I am. When you're trading with, well, I mean, it depends because if you're on funded accounts, typically the way the contracts works are a little bit different. It's very similar to currency pairs. But when you're trading on a brokerage and they use different contract sizes, two lots, you'll see thousands of dollars in fluctuations very quickly. So, I'm still kind of learning how to hold my positions for as long as possible. But ultimately, price did come down to 2,900 and it did now just actually start to break under. Now, it also does suck because some of these setups that we're getting on the lower time frames, like this is a clean, clear as day break and retest setup, ultimately just isn't setting up on the times that we're typically trading. If we were to see this setup in the morning, either during market or pre-market hours, and that's a pretty crystal clean setup. But I'm just not comfortable taking trades on US 30 or the Nasdaq outside of session. So didn't catch this move, but I did catch, a good portion of this move here. Now what we could possibly see for the near future when it comes to US 30, what we could see tomorrow. Ultimately, like right now, the only setup I would like to see is for price to continue to go down, come back up into 29,000, test 29,000, and then we could probably see a big drop into 28,300, which would be a pretty big move, especially on the daily time frame. We haven't really seen like a significant pullback, such as like what happened here, where we've seen buyers kind of take over for the last 5 days, and then ultimately the CPI report came out. We saw a big dump, and price has been dumping since then. So I'm trying to trade with a little bit of caution, lowering my position sizes, just because like at any point in time, I feel like we can get some form of a pullback, and where could that pullback possibly be? It could possibly be back into this area here or this area up here if price does decide to actually start pulling back. Now, just because I think price is going to pull back doesn't mean price is going to pull back. If we look at this market structure, it's very, very crystal clean what price is doing. We have lower high, lower low, then we have another lower high, then we have our lows here. So price is breaking lows, continuously making lower lows and lower highs. Now, again, when it comes to tomorrow's setup, what I would like to see ultimately is for price to continue to trade under this area. And then hopefully by tomorrow morning, we get a pullback into 29,000, which we may see some resistance. And if price does hold this area as resistance, such as what it did over here, then we could definitely look to short price down into 28,300 and continue to look sells all the way down to this 28,300 area. Now, this is a very big move. I wouldn't really be looking to hold, like if price does give me the break and retest setup at 2,900, I wouldn't really look to hold it all the way down to 2,800. I'll just look to satisfy my risk to reward ratios or whatever structure points are valid tomorrow morning. Example, if price comes down to 28,700 and then pulls back up into 2,900, I'll look to sell it down into 28,700 and see what happens there. Because typically, like what's been happening with structure very recently with US 30 is like we'll have a break and retest setup, like price will come up into 2,900, come down, test the lows, and then come right back up to test the highs again. That happened over here, and then that also happened here. It came down, rejected the lows, pulled back up, came down, tested the lows again, and then pulled almost all the way back up to the highs, ultimately before making new lows, which our goal is to try and catch like this move right here, the extension lower, because it's going to give us our bigger risk to reward ratio. And on top of that, like ultimately we're going to make more money trying to catch the lows here. But obviously it's very difficult trying to catch the new lower low when price is, giving us a full 100% retracement, and you got to, again, think about it when you're actually in the trade itself and you have live money at risk. If you took a trade here and then you see prices almost at your target, but then, it's pulled back 100% 3 times already, it's going to be like, damn, should I close? Once you're already up in profit, and especially if you're somebody that's kind of trading like me, where I'm using the lower time frames for execution, we're getting pretty good entries a lot of the times. And a move from this point to this point is like 3-4 times our risk. So, it's something that you got to take into consideration. At the same time, taking profit is always be good, especially if you do have a positive risk to reward ratio at your trades. I'm sure you guys have heard the term, like you can never go broke taking a profit, which that is true. But at the same time, we're trying to catch, the big move because that's ultimately where we're going to make the most money. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for US 30 as of right now, break and retest of 2,900. I wouldn't really look to sell if price starts to break above and start trading above 2,900. Like if we get a break above, a pull back into 2,900, and then this area holds its support again, and we start seeing price going up, I wouldn't look to sell it anymore. I would kind of wait and see what price does at this structure point. Because ultimately, if it breaks above this hour high, then most likely we're going to see it come back into our main highs, which this is our kind of more stronger area of resistance, which is going to be 29,600, which we can then look to sell it again at this point in time, as long as the trend is still valid, which realistically it should, because on the daily time frame, that would be a pretty normal pullback. Now, the question arises, it's kind of like, although we have major resistance in this area here, if price does start pulling back, can we pull back to our previous area of structure, which would be 30,000, which I don't see it outside of the realm of possibility. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Ultimately, you just want to follow market structure. As long as this bearish market structure continues to actually hold and we see price continue to make new lows, we'll continue to look to sell. Simple. Now with GJ is a little bit different. So if you guys saw the breakdown that I posted on the free Telegram, I pretty much said wait for GJ to come into this 127 major resistance level, which is a major area of resistance over the last literally, I want to say a few months. You could look to sell at this area here and then look for price to come back down to 150. So ultimately, I'm going to continue to look for price to go down to 150. Even though I'm not trading GJ, that's exactly what I would do. We have support around this range right here. So right now, price is breaking under the support as we are starting to approach the New York session, the London session, right? So in a situation like this, if you're not already short, then you're kind of already too late. The only thing to really do as of right now is kind of wait and see, if price can break under this area. Now, if price breaks under this area, very simple, wait for the retest and then look to sell. If this setup does happen, stops go above your resistance zone, because ultimately price will come down, form support, come back up, form resistance. This is where you look to take your entry and then sell it back down into 150. It's really the only setup that I see on GJ as of right now. I mean, you can be cautious just in case it could come back up and retest 157. But again, it's GJ sells unless price breaks back above this 157 to 158 range, which I know is a big range. But again, like we could see price consolidate in this area for a little bit before making a real decision on going down or continuing to go up and make new highs, which ultimately right now I wouldn't expect GJ to just start going up and making new highs, right? So GJ sells down into 150 is kind of what I'm looking for. And with gold, I don't really see a setup right now. Like if we look at it from like an intraday perspective, the only setup there really would be a break of support or retest. And then you could look for price to continue to trade lower from there. I mean, looking at it from a long-term perspective, like on a weekly time frame or a daily time frame, like your next structure level is going to be 160 flat or 1600 flat. So I would continue to look for gold to come down into 1600. I mean, if you're not comfortable taking this break and retest setup either, then you can wait and see if price will come and retest 164 or 1644. And then if price holds 1644, kind of similar to what it did up here, for those of you guys in the boot camp, you would already know it sells all day at these areas, right? At these major areas, you could look for another possible sell opportunity at 1644. I wouldn't again look to fight this momentum, but instead I would look to trade with the momentum. Again, you could wait for the break and retest of this area and then possibly look to sell down to the lows. Or, I mean, if you're really trying to hold the trade until 1600, then that's something you could do as well. But that's going to pretty much summarize the breakdown for now. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want me to go over? Or is everybody like kind of good?
Hey,
I
Ro.
got a question.
Yeah.
You go first, bro.
Oh, no, I was just gonna ask, when are you thinking of hosting the US 30 or indices class?
I'm gonna probably drop the link in the free Telegram on Friday to register. But I wouldn't like. I mean, you guys are DTI students, you know what I mean? Like, you guys got me for breakdowns all the time. I wouldn't say it's like you guys have to go get it. You guys should go get it, but if you want to, it's there. I'm mainly doing it for the public because, as you guys know, DTI and like the boot camps aren't something that's like super cheap.
No, it
Sounds
is.
good, man.
So, Raul,
Yeah.
So when you're going on most of the US 30 entries, you enter on 15.5, or what do you see yourself entering right now at?
I mean, right now, like I'm taking trades mainly based off like the 15-minute and the 5-minute time frame.
So I guess my question is because like what I tend to notice is obviously because I trade New York, and like when that 8:30 or 9:30 wherever you're at candle opens, and let's say it hits like today it hit that resistance, right? Like I knew if it hit there it was gonna sell, but because it moved like so quick up there, I guess I hesitated because of like, oh, what happens if it breaks this level? Like at that point, do you just wait to see what happens, like at the 5 minute, 15, just to see how it reacts, or because I know some people just enter as soon as it touches the level, but
Basically, like what I kind of went over in the boot camp was the difference between aggressive entries and conservative entries. And my planned entry would have been to just look for an aggressive entry at 29,600, which is this area right here. And ultimately, this would have been my entry signal right here, which is this big rejection candlestick.
yeah.
Um, I didn't end up taking the entry, but that would have been my planned entry right here. I mean, I waited later on, ended up getting in at a break and retest at this area right here, but that trade ended up hitting my stop loss at this range here. And then I ended up getting back in at a retest of 29,547, which is kind of like the lows of the resistance from, my analysis. And I got
Yeah.
at this engulfing for a little bit more of a conservative entry. And that's when I kind of held it throughout this entire move down. But
So
mainly
are you saying, I guess, on the aggressive entry, you're entering on that top wick or that 5 minute close of that candle?
the first 5-minute rejection, which essentially would be
Got it. Got it. I see what you're saying. Okay, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Wait, bro, are you pointing to the doji?
Yeah, the first 5-minute rejection, which would have been this candlestick.
I got you.
Hey, Ro, how you doing?
What's up, bro?
Are you considering to do indices signals for New York session?
Probably not, bro, unless AB just starts calling indices signals, which he's trading indices now with me during the day. But I doubt it. Like, I don't call signals because I like to trade for myself. It puts me in a better psychological position to make more money versus trading signals. Like, you got to think about it too. Like, when you're calling signals, you're not just calling trades for yourself. You're calling trades for other people, and you have to adjust your trade based off of that because it takes you time to write out the message. It takes you time to write out all the levels that you're looking to target, like, and especially with a fast moving pair like US 30, like even if I were to get an entry in here, right, by the time I call the signal, and I say stop loss here, your entry is probably going to be way down here, which affects the trade ultimately. And it may not look like a lot, but this is a lot of extra risk added when you take an entry here versus here. And then for the people to calculate the lot size, I mean, from a business perspective, yeah, sure. If I start saying like, yo, guys, I'm doing indices signals, you know what I mean? I'll probably make a lot of money right then and there off of the indices signals, but I'm probably making even more on a daily basis just trading by myself. So it's not something I'm really too interested in. But maybe in the future, if AB could show me a good track record on indices, I'll let him call it indices signals.
Yeah, because I think it's like more volume, right? Especially in the New York session, correct?
It's more volume, yes, because you have the London session, then you have the New York session open, so you have the London to New York crossover. And the thing too, like a lot of people that are taking signals, typically, like if they're trading on their own capital, they're trading a lot smaller capital, then they won't even be able to even enter a position size on like on a 1,000 leverage. And then on funded accounts, it's a different story.
Got you.
But as of right now, I'm just gonna be trading.
And was your normally scheduled to start on the New Year session? From what time to what time do you normally go ahead just start?
I try to already be on the markets by like 8:45, analyze.
8:45.
Yeah, I'm not always too comfortable taking trades like before 9:30 because like even here, like if I would have taken a trade at 8, which ultimately this would have been like an entry signal for me in this area here, the
Yeah.
9:30 open push price way past my target. I mean my entry. It would have been very close to my stop loss. I'd rather wait for that 9:30 candlestick to come and test the area, which typically that's what happens the majority of the time. you're in early, you can expect to see drawdown. There may be times where you don't get an entry, or you do get an entry, and that 930 just straight pushes price in your favor. Well, a lot of the times, like that 930 candlestick is going to come back into your area of interest, your area where you're looking to go short at anyways. So I'd rather wait for that, you know.
Got it. So you normally jump into the 930 wave, like, and then you ride the wave, the trend.
I mean, it depends because like this is a 930 open. You see price come into this area. I still don't have taken an entry. I would have taken an entry at 940 when this candlestick,
Gotcha.
you know,
Gotcha.
maybe even when the candlestick's rejecting. It just depends on how aggressive I'm feeling.
If you were trading gold, were you waiting till 9:30 or start
Well,
looking to trade at 8?
30, you're an hour and 30 minutes late if you're trading gold. You should be looking at gold at 7 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really? 7 o'clock?
New York session starts at 8. You don't
Yeah,
have
but
to prepare.
I mean, for gold, I mean, you don't think about the 930 candle that much. I know it because it's like it's different from the indices because it don't have nothing to do with the stock market, right?
I mean, you're still going to see commodities move with the stock market open.
I'm talking about with gold though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're still going to
Can
see.
you go to gold on your chart though? I'm just trying to see like we 7 o'clock, like you just did with US 30 kind of. Because I mean, shit, bro, I'll be waking up. Alarm set at 7, so I'm thinking I'm early.
No, I mean, you see, like you had a move all the way up to here. 8 o'clock hits, and then price started to dump. But I'm not saying 7 o'clock is when you're going to enter your position. I'm saying
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Your pre-market analysis.
Yeah.
Then 8 o'clock is roughly when you're looking to enter a position.
Okay.
You got to give yourself at least 45 minutes in advance. Because if you wake up at 7:30 to get onto the market at 7:45, bro, by the time you sit down in the chair, if you go straight from your bed to your office chair, you're barely still waking up. You know, you got to give your body and your brain time to like activate. Me personally, I give myself like 30 minutes of just doing anything getting on the computer.
So you wake up like around 8, right?
Yeah, I wake up like around 8. 8 is typically planned. Sometimes I wake up like at 8:10. Sometimes I wake up even earlier. It just depends. But if I'm not looking to take an entry like around until around at least at 9:30 open, I'm typically waking up like 8:15, 8:30.
And then after that, until how late do you normally stay with the New Year session?
I mean, it depends because there's been times where I don't take an entry until like 2 p.m. But there's also been times where, you know, I take a trade at 9:30 and then I'm out at 9:50 and I'm done for the day.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I noticed that at 2 p.m. normally start moving like super hard, right? At 2 p.m.?
Yeah, like 2:30. That's because lunchtime is over.
Gotcha.
Your
Some
trade
people
usually
might be
goes in
confused
around
because it's Eastern
9:30 then?
time frame.
Eastern time.
Yeah, bro, with your US 30, how big are your stop losses usually on average? Like 50, 100 points?
I mean, it depends.
Or just you
like
do like the higher?
for this entry today, my stop loss, my entry's around here. My stop loss is around this range, 67 points. If I would have entered here, my stop loss would have been above the high for about 67 points as well.
Oh, man, you
Here to here was about 67 points. So that's my average stop loss.
okay, so you doing it above the that last one you just did where you got stopped out earlier. Your stop loss was above the body and wick to the left.
Yeah, like my stop loss, like I tried to place my stop loss like around like,
Yeah.
a little bit above this area right here because I saw like, okay, well, if price doesn't break this area, which on a 5-minute time frame it did, on a 15-minute time frame it ended up being just a rejection, which ultimately I entered way too early. Because I could have waited for the 15-minute to close under, and if the 15-minute would have closed under, that would have been wraps. You know, or most likely would have played out in my favor, which I've been trading like on a 5-minute time frame too much. And I got to start mainly focusing like on a 15-minute time frame just to kind of compile all the extra noise because I could have potentially avoided this loss and made like a net maybe 50K today instead of like.
What about gold? You think the same thing on gold, or gold is like 5 minutes a little safer?
On gold, honestly, I'd probably play from like a longer term perspective, like a 30-minute time frame. Because again, like with gold, you need a bigger move to make more money versus US 30. You don't need that big of a move to make a lot of money. I mean, my entry from today was roughly this point. I got out maybe around this area right here, and this was $40,000. And the position size was small compared to what I'm normally trading. which was only like 2.30 lots. If I would have done my normal, maybe like 4 or 5 lots, I could have been 70K, you know?
So you think you more scalping it a little bit or more intraday
I mean,
scalping?
that's all from the perspective of the trader. You know, if you say that this is a scalp, then that's a scalp to you. If you say this is a day trade, that's a day trade to you. Some people might even consider this to be a fucking swing trade. You know, it just depends on the trader. Personally, I consider this to be a day trade. What I consider to be a scalp is like you're looking to get in, and then out almost the next candle. That's what I kind of see.
I got you.
You know,
I got you. Yeah. It don't
Bro,
matter.
how much do you normally pay for the lot in Athens broker?
bro. Honestly, I'm fucking leaving this broker today because my orders got slipped 3 times.
What?
My
Damn.
got slipped 3 times, and it costed me like my first loss. My initial planned loss was 13 grand. Right, I ended up taking like a
Wow.
$16,000 L because my order got slipped. And then on top of that, when I went to close the position, and it even slipped me closing the position too. It said order pending, whole
That's
minute
fucked.
fluctuation.
Oh,
So
shit.
it happened to
Well-
3 of my orders today, so I'm leaving this broker. I'm gonna find a new broker.
Well,
Athens
well,
did that to you?
let us know, please, because we'll go there.
Bro, they seen
Athens
what,
stock about to go down.
bro, they seen what happened in August. They think they slick.
Well, I mean, I did make like $1 million in August. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. They trying to
I mean,
fighting.
if they B-booked me, they took a fat L that month. They probably even had to pay me out of their own pockets.
Athens did that to you?
Yeah, Athens. My orders got slipped nasty today, and it costed me literally a few $1,000s because my orders.
Yo, check out Hanko Trade. They're
Nah, I don't
really,
I don't
really
like
good.
trades.
Really? Why?
It's hard for me to want to. It's hard for me to look for like a good like broker that I could trust. Like I like to speak to the management team. Typically, like when a brokerage comes up to me, I'm a little more trusting because I know they're going to give me and my clients the best deal possible. You know, that's why I transfer over to the broker. Like I've had Hanko trades. I've had a few brokers hit me up like, yo, bro, like whatever, like you're getting charged right now, we'll do it better, right? We'll even give you like 300K to trade and you can keep all of the profits. But then I go on and I see like their spreads aren't that great, or like the US 30 chart looks completely different than what their charts look like. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good.
Bro, I hate that. That is a huge pet peeve of mine. Like
Bro,
when I be trading
When you
Athens,
see some shit like that, bro, that's sketch off the bat.
bro,
Hey,
like
bro.
I mean, gold would be like it'd be like almost 10 pips off of where like the other chart is. And I
mean,
don't
it's
know.
gonna be different. Like the price is going to be a little bit different just simply because
Yeah.
regulated broker versus like a non-regulated broker. You know what I mean?
I understand that, but it's still
Definitely by New Year's, like I want to be out of Athens. I want to start the year off on a different broker because my orders have been slipped so many times. And when I was trading on my main portfolio in August, I entered a 10 lot, and the price difference from where I was looking to enter versus where they actually put me in costed me $16,000. It was ridiculous. I was so mad that
Insane. That's insane.
it completely killed that trade.
bro, some of these funded accounts be doing that stuff too. I noticed
I
it.
don't even know why some of these funded accounts be slipping orders because that's the whole point of fighting slippage. Like that's just super sketch. They give you demo accounts that, you know, some of them are connected to live accounts, some of them aren't. It depends if you're a profitable trader or not. But even if they are connected to live accounts, you shouldn't see slippage because you're trading on a demo account, which you should get instant execution.
Hey, bro, do you have something? I mean, few options on mine right now.
Not really, to be honest with you. Like this happened to me today. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, he's pissed.
after I made my loss back. I got back into trade, which then I made 40K, and I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I got slipped on all of my trades today. But after that, you know, I went on with my day, and I'll start researching some brokers. I'll see what I do.
Hey, bro.
Would you actually use KOT or never again?
Bro.
Which one?
If you
KOT.
if you see any broker with that client base, you stay away, bro.
Which one?
Away,
KOT.
out of there.
I've been hearing Raw bash
So what's wrong
KOT
with-
for the longest time.
What's wrong with KOT?
Bro, KOT is like trash, bro. It's like you can go outside and probably start a broker from a garbage can and it'll be better.
God damn.
How do you find a
That's
a
just
good
because of the
broker?
way they treat their clients, though.
how do you find a good regulator? Because most of them are in the Caribbean, bro, and they have no information for who owns the company, and there's like no info for
Well,
nothing,
the
bro.
majority, like what I'm gonna start doing right now in the next few weeks. Yo, guys, let me know if you have any good broker recommendations. I'm gonna get flooded with different brokerages sending me, yo, come trade with us, right? And they'll give me and my clients the best deal, and whichever one I see gives me the best deal, is the one I'll ultimately pick. I really like the Carbon Capital type of brokers. I don't know which broker is the main label because I've seen like 3 brokers that have the same like kind of like layout as Athens. And those are kind of like the brokers I'm going to try and lean towards. I'm definitely not going to go back to Carbon Capital, just because I was already on there. And the spreads are good. I mean, like, I'll see what I do.
What about Dominion Market? The guy, the Raja Banks.
Yeah, he trades on Dominion. I mean, he owns Dominion, I believe, from what he said. But I don't know. I don't like any brokers that have B2B as their technology provider, because I don't know if they're using the B2B as their liquidity provider too. Which, if that's the case, I mean, like, I don't want to give you guys like a bad annotation with B-Book, but then if you're trading on like a B2B,
Bro, we don't even know what all this means. I promise you, we don't.
What do you mean? I explained B-Book and A-Book in the course.
My bad. I skipped that part.
Hey,
look. I skipped that part. Like, what is MT4 and all that? I skipped that part. I already know how to open the trade.
That's like in the first couple videos, G.
He went straight to fundamentals.
I mean, when you guys start seeing me post on my story, let me know what broker suggestions you guys have. Is typically when I'm really looking to start switching. I'll probably start looking to switch around November, because I'm most likely not going to trade December anyways, and then start the new year off on a different broker, and then I'll let you guys know which one it is.
Yeah, man. Please let us know, man.
Hey, Ro, I had a question. So I don't know if you saw the messages in the Discord, but I put a message in the questions for Rule. I was asking, when will you ever bring back the back testing portion of the DTI course?
When my trading journal is done, because in my trading journal we're going to have a back testing section. So in the back testing program inside of the journal, you'll be able to back test a lot more efficiently than with an Excel file.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hey, Ro, can I get a quick tip? I usually trade GJ and gold in a New York session. And, I can clearly see the break and retest on the 4-hour candles. Sometimes, they're beautiful and everything, but I don't always get them just because of the time I trade at. Any tips on how to, grab some intraday trades?
I mean, if you're looking for like shorter intraday trades, you'd want to trade a lower time frame. Ultimately, I don't even know how my sessions indicator on here. Let me see. So this is 8 a.m. right here. I mean, the pretty clear setup at this 8 a.m. open was we have resistance here, we have support here. You could look for either a break and retest, which ultimately you would have gotten right here, but I don't even know what time this is. This is 16:30. Is that aftermarket close?
Yeah.
So probably not. Or you could have looked to sell at this resistance level, because ultimately, like, once price rejected here and then we saw sellers come back in, then we saw a pullback, like, this is time for you to possibly look to sell. Realistically, it comes down to, okay, if price can get under this area, sell. If price get above this area, it's buys. And then, how you would have traded that, if you would have traded that, ultimately would have been up to you. Personally, I don't even think this would have been a trading day for me, trading the
Too choppy. Too choppy.
I caught that trade. I'm beautiful right now.
Yeah.
Bro, indices are the best, man.
Yeah, bro, for sure. Like, me and AB were having that discussion earlier yesterday, because like, you don't need a lot from the market to make.
Oh, bro, that's why, bro, I used to trade US30. Like, this is before I got in your course. Now, just to be clear, I was gambling. Bro, I had a $1,000 account and put 2 lots in on US30 and didn't look at no chart.
I didn't even know
how much. You said what?
With 2 lots, bro, yeah. When I open up.
No. I'm sorry. 0.02.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. 0.02.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, that is. I'm sorry. 0.02. And bro, I thought I was doing something. Like I was at the gym at the treadmill, was on the treadmill, got off, wiped it up, was up 400. Walked over to the other side of the gym, account blown.
Oh shit!
But I was like, you know what? I was like, bro. I was like, you know, like indices, bro, ain't bad. I like them because, like, when you write, if you write, you gonna get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you catch it right, you will get paid. Ain't gonna be no, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna fly.
Oh, and he doesn't get that choppy like the other coins.
Well, not. I don't trade like any forex pairs anymore.
Yeah,
I used to do GJ and stuff like that, but I said, man, FGJ. I do gold and US 30, but I've been doing more gold than anything right now. But like, I just been missing the gold moves because like, I got to my computer at like probably like 9 o'clock, and so I was waiting, and it kept ranging, and like around noon, I was like, man, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then that's when it dropped. Like all that consolidation had that big drop around noon.
Yeah, 11.
Yo, Rule, I have a question on NAS real quick.
Yeah.
On the M30 chart, the 630 candle this morning. So you see that rejection candle there? I had like the big pin bar.
The
630.
630 is right here.
He must
be.
Oh
In shit!
A
Oh, my
time.
bad. I'm PST.
930.
930. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So that one there, that candle. So that would be an aggressive entry. But since that wick is so big and it passed those previous wicks that were there, would it be safe to put your stop loss above the previous wicks and not that candle wick?
Like if you're, oh my bad. If your entry's here, honestly, I probably would have put my stops. Depending on how I'm feeling and how the market's looking, I would have put my stops either above these wicks or above this wick. The safest one would have been above this wick. But then I would have used a lower position size because I know like, all right, price could literally come up to here. Like this is the general area that I'm looking for price to maintain under right here.
Yeah.
Right. So I know price can kind of like come back into this area. But the way price is looking at this moment in time is like, okay, I'm going to put my stop loss probably like above this wick right here is how I would have played it.
Cool. So that it does make sense, and not to put it over that huge wick because that basically was a liquidity grab of some sort.
So unnecessary. Like, if price were to come back up, stop you out, I would wait for another rejections, see if it's valid, and if it is, take another entry. Simple.
Okay.
I didn't trade NAS today, just simply because like I saw support being around here, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I traded NAS in the morning, and then I was break even, and then I went to US 30 and took a trade. So I was just gonna ask on US 30 when it made that big leg down. If you go to US 30,
okay, let me mark this off for tomorrow.
Okay. But yeah, NAS looked clean like later in the day, but early in the day it was not.
Yeah.
The breaking level.
To me, US 30 completely blew through major support.
Yeah, that's a huge reason.
Clean as day, break and retest. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't get any cleaner than that,
Yeah, on US 30, like if you go to M5, so I was in this trade just basically the same way you were. If you like that big leg down into that next level of support, the lower, so around that area. So you got out around there. What made you want to get out? Because I got out right before that shit dropped.
I got out.
So I was still in profit, but I got out right before it dropped again.
I got out around here because price ultimately came around the area that I wanted it to, and it started to reject. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I make my loss back, and then I make like an extra maybe like 20, 30,000 on top of my loss, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna close here and just call it a day because I was already enough stressed out with slippage that I do and getting caught in this chop right here. Because again, like you gotta think about it. Like, although I lost the break and retest here, like this looks valid again to want to short, so I really thought about selling here, but I was like, you know what, price came to support, it didn't break under it, so I'm going to continue to wait, and luckily I did continue to wait, and then I ended up waiting and I ended up getting it back in here, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to close. My target again, like if you look at the video I posted on my story, I had a hard take profit at 29,000, and if I would have just been like, you know what, I'm gonna go downstairs, make myself a chocolate milk, come back upstairs. I would have hit take profit.
I know, fuck. I got out right before that shit dropped. But in the perfect world, you would just be trailing your stops above those wicks there, right?
In this situation here, my trailed stop would have been right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you didn't undergo all that stress.
Yeah, and then on top
Yeah.
of that,
Okay.
I would have maybe even looked to add a position here.
Okay.
Hey,
Thanks.
Raul, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I caught both of those GJ drops today, probably about an hour or so ago. The 150, they put me in at 155, 282, but they put me in like way lower than where I actually tried to get in there. I mean, that's what you were talking about. Is this is an issue, or I mean, I would be not even B book, obviously. I would be like,
That's probably just because of spread. What I'm talking about is literally once you place that buy or sell order, right?
Right.
Execution, and it says pending. That's when there's slippage.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I didn't get that, but it definitely didn't put it in at where I put in the order. It put it in way lower than that. I still caught it for
like
what's that?
No, my lot size wasn't even big. Like I've done those types of lots and I've never gotten slipped. So now that they're having slippage, it's like, nah, my money got messed with today. I'm gonna move.
That's fucked up. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
and I know you're messing with real serious big time money where I have a very small account. But second, can you just look at where I took it and where I got out on both of these, where I made 2,500 and 1,389 with another small account of 1,500 to start? I want to see if I'm getting out of these at the right time. The first one I got in at was 155, 282.
Okay.
And I got out at 154, 547.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean the thing is when you're trading with small accounts, like in the beginning, all the profits matter. Simply because building that cushion. Once you already have that cushion, you can be a little bit more lenient and maybe hold trades for longer. Right.
Okay.
And that's the same thing that I do. Like I'm very, very, very strict. When I first start like a small account, like 20. When I start a small account, let's say like my last small account that I did was like 20 grand. I was very strict until I got to about like 40,000. Then once I got up to 40,000, I was up 100%. It's like, okay, I'm going to kind of let off of closing trades so early and just try and let them run because now I have cushion to play with in the account. That's how I like to do small accounts.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. So it's something you can build up to as you have a bigger account. So I'm okay for right now what I'm doing.
Yeah, because the longer you hold the position, the more open you are to risk.
Okay. And then can you look at 154, 559?
Yeah, you took a sell here?
Correct. Down to 154, 158.
So you just closed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been comfortable taking a sell here.
No.
In the middle.
Wait, that was earlier. Not right this second. No, it was an earlier one. I don't know where it was at 0450 was the time frame. Oh, maybe you're right. Shit. My mistake. Maybe you're right. Maybe that wasn't it.
Hey, Ro, I have a question real quick.
Oh, and thanks for the shout out on DTI. I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro, of course.
Hey, Ro. Yeah, so I had a question on GJ. If you go to the 4 hour, so I'm looking at that level of support it's at right now. So my question is, let's say at 1 o'clock the candle does close below the level of support right there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you wait for the 5 o'clock close to see if it's gonna reject with maybe like a little small bullish candle on the 4 hour, then look to go short, or would you actually go short during that 1 o'clock candle?
Well, I mean, you want to wait on a lower time frame to wait for the pullback, and then you look for the break and retest on a lower time frame. And typically, what it's going to look like is on a 4 hour time frame is like, let's say you're right, the next 4 hour candlestick is going to print, and then you got in on a wick right here. Typically, that's what it's going to look like.
Okay, then it will go, but then most likely it's gonna do like a a proper pullback after? 'Cause usually that's what I see tends to happen. Like if it breaks and you get in on the lower time frame and catch the move going down, it eventually like comes back on the 4 hour time frame as like a proper pullback to that
Yeah, of
area.
course, because if you're trading intraday time frames, you're looking for intraday moves. You're not looking for this to catch this whole monstrosity of a move. You're just looking to catch from like here to about right here. It's already looking
Okay,
at from an intraday perspective, at least.
gotcha. All right,
Going
thanks.
back to gold, what time frame are you using to enter a position
I
for
mean,
gold?
a situation like this, again, I'm down on like a 30-minute.
So you're using 30-minute?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, bro, I got a question.
Yeah.
Since you trade indices mostly upside down, do you ever put the DXY in your market watch, or you really try not to look at it?
I don't really look at it. I've never looked at it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel like, bro, I keep it on there. The thing be messing with my head, so I think I'm gonna just take it off, man.
But you just be like when you do things like that, you're just overcomplicating it, and
Yeah.
adding an extra step in your analysis. Like, I mean, you could if you really want to, but again, like you're just adding an extra step into your analysis. Like, I'm not an economist, I don't study the economy, but I know what my major economic reports are, like CPI, rate, et cetera, and I know what to look out for on those days where those topics are going to be talked about, when those numbers are going to be released, but I'm mainly a technical trader. And, when we're talking about moves from here to here, I don't need to know that Joe Biden has a new report coming out telling me that the housing market's going to drop 35%, for a 5-minute move, or I'm in and out of the market, I'm in 10 minutes later, 40K, I'm good. I'm out. Go buy Lambo,
Hey,
JP with that Miri suit.
Literally.
Hey, Ro, question with regulated brokers. Let's say, just for the future, let's say you have a high capital amount. We're talking 500 grand, $1 million. Is it smart to deposit an amount like that to the broker, or do you usually kind of just trade according to that amount, but you just deposit a way lower amount? Let's say you're trading based on $1 million, and you only deposit 200 grand instead, and just manage your risk according to the bigger capital in mind. You understand my question?
I understand. Basically, what I'm kind of getting at is like if you deposit $1 million, but you're only looking to risk 200 grand regardless, so just trade the 200 grand.
I'm saying no. You just still, we're still keeping the 1 to 3% risk. But I'm saying, are you able to? Is that something that's smart to do?
Well,
if you have to.
The thing is, if you're trading at a 1 to 3% risk on $1 million account, you're trading roughly at a $20,000 to $30,000 risk every single day, right? On a $200,000 account, 10 to 15% on a single day.
Would that be something the broker will allow you to, or that depends on the leverage?
No, because the leverage that you're going to get is literally a 1 to 20, 1 to 25, 1 to 50 leverage if you're lucky.
Okay.
And it depends on the assets that you trade. Like the broker may say, leverage, come trade with us. We're regulated. Right. But when you go trade gold, if they even allow gold, you're going to trade a 1 to 10 leverage.
Gotcha. Okay. I see.
And F that.
Question for you, Raul. You said something about knowing your major economic reports, and you mentioned the CPI. What is it that we need to know about CPI?
How the market is affected by CPI, depending on how the report comes out.
Any other ones?
Rate hikes.
Okay.
Those are the two that I mainly pay attention to the most.
When Powell get up on that podium, get ready to get ready. That shit gonna fly.
Literally.
You see it with that little look on his face?
Literally. Like when it comes to Powell and Powell speaking, right? If he doesn't come out of the boardroom, wherever the fuck he came out of, and he don't got like a step in his walk, right? And he don't smack that paper down with confidence and start reading with confidence, I know some shit's about to go down. So you always got to be careful when it comes to Powell speaking.
Bro, he put his glasses on and had buy on gold and was up. Nah, hey, real quick, you said something about the building a small account with a cushion. So like when you said instead of like cutting the trade shorter, so does that mean like you aim like for like a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 sometime? Just starting off on when you talked about building a cushion.
Yeah, like I'm mainly looking to like get in, like, so I'll mainly be paying attention to like 5-minute structure Example, if I take a trade here, I'm getting out at the next 5-minute structure, which could potentially be here or could potentially be here. And I'm really scalping it a lot of the time until like I feel I have enough cushion in the account to risk a little bit more or to potentially hold my position for longer and not care about the profit being given back to the market and closing the day at a break even. Because if I'm trading with 20 grand and I'm up 10K, it's like, damn, I'm already up 50% of my account. I can just close and then look to get back in later on. And then there's times where it's played out where I closed and then I get back in later on, maybe make another 10 grand. Or there's also times where that 10 grand I try and hold and it's break even. It's like, fuck, I could have just made 50% right now. It ultimately, it depends,
'Cause I'm trying to build like some cushion on my funded account before I like build up a cushion before I like start to increase the risk to like 2%.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just curious.
that's what you always want to do when you have a fresh deposit. You want to build the cushion.
So like, what about like 1-to-1s? You don't recommend those?
Bro, it's up to you. You're the one that's risking the capital. You know why you're getting into a trade. You know roughly where you're looking to get out. I'm just a little bit more excited to close. I don't really look to like hold a position for too long.
I got you.
Hero, if you start with like 100,000 or 200,000 funding account, what normal percentage that you normally start?
Probably like a 1%.
1%?
Yeah.
Gotcha, man.
All right, hey, bro. On your daily zones right there, specifically, are you looking for them to be support and resistance all the way throughout them, or like how do you like decide what's that going to be?
These are all areas where I'm looking to take trades from.
Your daily ones.
I mean, again, like I'm looking for price. If price rejects here, it's because I'm going to look for it to go down to here.
No, I'm saying like when you marking them, like let's say you go back in time or whatever like that, are you looking for support and resistance all the way throughout that, or is it just like
I'm just looking for the major reaction?
So it doesn't necessarily have to be support this day, support that way, resistance, blah blah blah. Just the reaction.
Yeah, just a reaction I get from it. Obviously, like I see like resistance, support, but it's mainly like the reactions. Like there's a reason why price dumped the way it did from this area. Same thing here. There's a reason why price came to this area and then dumped all the way back down to here, and then again, like I look for direction. If price goes from here, it's most likely going to come down to here. If price rejects here, it's probably going to come down to here.
Okay, and then your gray boxes, what are those used for and how do you use them? Is it more of like a point of entry or just something like, not a point of entry?
They're more like the intraday levels.
But you never take trades off those, correct?
No, I do take trades off of them.
Okay, and what do you use, the 15 and 30?
Typically the 15 minutes, like, I mean, I use all time frames, but like when I'm going to look to take the position, it's typically the 15 because it's like, okay, I'm looking to sell because price is bearish. Where can I sell? Okay, I can look to sell here, but price is trading here right now. In that case, let's see if price will pull back to here, give me a retest or a rejection, then I can look for it to come up to here. If price breaks this area, I can wait for a retest, then it'll most likely come down to here. So on and so forth. Ultimately, my favorite area to trades are the daily ones because they're the highest probability ones. We're not going to get caught in like any indecision like I did here earlier today.
Now, is this on strictly your the 15 on your US 30 or NAS, and then maybe on Forex pairs, what do you do to the 30 to 1 hour for the gray boxes?
Yeah, typically on Forex pairs, I like to trade a little bit of a higher time frame, just because again, like you need a bigger move to make more money. I mean, for me to make 100 grand on gold, I have to literally use 100 lots and catch 100 pips. Versus I made $40,000 today on 2 lots on US 30.
Bro, I called this back in like May that Raul was gonna trade US 30 and he was not gonna mess with it.
I remember you wasn't messing with that shit at all.
Bro, I kept saying it because I was trading it, but I was like, man, I'm just
Bro, listen, US 30, the thing about trading US 30, it's like crack, bro. Once you get like that first big move, right? You get that like that's it. Like when you go back to trading Forex, it's like it's not the same.
So slow to sit down and watch that
you're
shit happen, bro.
So slow, like it takes hours for those trades to play out. Versus on US 30, US 30 is just like is a crackhead. You know, it's
Or
You can either
NAS
get
too,
you can
right?
either get clapped or you're getting paid,
yeah, which
and that's all happening in 2 minutes.
you also have to respect US 30 at the same time because
Yeah,
you
Yes.
know you could come into the markets overconfident and US 30 will
facts.
really bend you.
Thirty.
I've been there.
Fuck you so
Bend you
bad.
over, fuck you
I've
up.
been there. Bro, it's crazy because my biggest day is on US 30 and I've been trading gold, but like I definitely had my biggest day on US 30.
Yeah.
Crazy how
Same,
people
bro.
pay 100
So
over.
Raul, for each lot, you pay like what, $15, $7?
I mean, I'll tell you today right now. I don't know why Athens doesn't tell you that exact commission, but today I paid a total of 2.3 lots, $100 in commission.
Okay, so it's like 40 something each, right?
Yeah, it's a very cheap asset to trade versus currencies. I mean, if you trade currencies on Athens, you're getting bent over, bro. You're paying $15 a lot.
Oh, wow. So
Bro.
like 100 lots would be woof.
$1,500, yeah.
Bro, quick
So-
question with the
Yeah.
with US 30. You said you kind of wait until after that that 9:30 candle. So like you wait like 5-10 minutes afterwards.
Bro, like honestly, like I try and get in on my level, right? But I try not trading like at 9:30, like 9:35, 9:40. I'm okay.
What about like 9 o'clock?
At 9 o'clock, I'm always very skeptical on because
Okay.
price, bro, when it opens, it literally does this.
How about for gold?
Gold, I'm very confident at any time. Like it could be 2 hours before session, it could be 2 hours after session.
Now, bro, for the boot camp, because I know you recorded everything. Is there any way that possibly any of the DTI members who didn't like enroll in it when it was live, like we could get access to the pre-recordings? I mean, the recordings if we pay for them.
Maybe the only way would be if you get in on the next boot camp. To be honest, I don't plan on selling like the recordings.
And Raul, for DI students, are you gonna have some promotion for the level up or something for us?
Possibly, yeah. I could set something up there. I mean, Leveled Up is like its own entity, and like we're gonna be doing things with all Leveled Up clients, like regardless. Like the next plan we have for Leveled Up is to grab 10 clients and to do like a 4 or 5 hour like in-person Q&A, and things like that, you know. That's like Leveled Up related.
Yeah, man, that would be nice. I mean, if you can give us some type of at least once, you know.
Hey,
Yeah.
so if this candle right here touches your zone right now, you're not gonna get in just simply because of the time it is, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, bet.
So for gold, when does the 5 and 15 come into play, if it does?
To me, it doesn't.
Hey, Raul. Well, so I remember when I came to the meet and greet recently in Miami. So I met you. I actually wanted to. I think I told you a little small accomplishment I did. So I had a 25K funded, and I was at 4th place then, but I'm finishing the month first with a 31% gain now. So I really just wanted to say thanks again, bro. And I just got the 100K funded. So now, like, trust me, bro, you have really changed lives out here, bro.
That's awesome, bro.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I had to really shout you out, man. Really, really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. I mean, yeah, bro, it makes me happy when I see others winning, like Claudio, like Jeff every day in the boot camp chat, 9K day, 9K day. I know it's
Fuck Jeff.
Crazy nowadays.
Yeah, I don't really
He's
post much in the
balling, bro.
chat.
D in life too, bro.
For sure, like it's growing over here. Things are great.
Raul, how many
big things
screens
all the time.
when you trade NAS or when you trade US 30? How many screens? What do you normally have on your screens? Like the 5, the 10, 15, the 1 hour. What do you normally have? How many screens?
On this monitor, I have the 5-minute or the 15-minute. On this one, I'll have the 30-minute or the 15-minute. And on this one, I'll have YouTube. That's it.
The which one? The other one?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. I thought it 2 minutes. Sorry, man.
No.
All right. 10. So 15, 5, 15, or 30, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm flipping throughout all time frames constantly. But typically I'm going through like the 15-minute, 30-minute, the 5-minute, even the 1 minute.
Gotcha.
Hey, Raul, when would you make the jump from GJ and gold to testing out US 30?
I wouldn't really
And what would you advise?
I wouldn't really test out US 30. I would see what pair you could read structure on the best and just trade that pair. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna stay out of it, but I was just wondering.
Yeah.
And look, just you gonna do it, just go demo with a 0.01 lot and just wrestle with it until you feel comfortable. Demo won't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get your feet wet with it.
Yeah, because that's like 40 cents commission. It's super cheap.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Ro, I have a question about Nas. So when you're entering off a daily support and resistance, does that make you more like you're able to hold your trade a little bit longer and not just exit quickly because you know you're entering off a daily level?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But can you do a quick breakdown if you have time on NZD USD for me?
I mean, I don't look at those pairs, so I wouldn't really I wouldn't even really know what the situation here. Like at this point in time, I would just focus on your intraday structure levels. So this hour support, and then if this hour low, I would first come back up into this hour support, and come back into the hour low. That's literally what I would say at this point in time. Literally.
Hey, Ron. Like TV is loud as hell.
Bro.
Yeah.
What is happening over there, bro?
iPhone.
Somebody.
One real quick. All right, there. All right. So, any more questions?
Yeah, Ro, do you know when your clothing brand's gonna launch first products?
Not yet, because we're still trying to do things with some payment processors.
Yeah.
So after that.
Nice.
Hey, Ro, this is more like a personal question, but how many years into the whole trading, career did you started getting into the funding area?
Bro, realistically, I only got into the funding area to show people that it was possible, even with the tight risk parameters that they have.
But I mean, like owning your own company, I mean.
Oh, owning my own?
Yeah, like your own funding company, yeah.
Last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Wow, cool. And are you looking to get into the broker business too? Starting your own brokerage and stuff in the future?
It's illegal.
What is it?
It's illegal.
Really? Oh, well.
Yeah,
Okay.
owning an unregulated brokerage and accepting U.S. clients is illegal. So I stay away from that. I make more than enough money trading. I don't need to make money off of my clients' losses.
Gotcha. All right. Perfect. Thank you, man.
Because that's how all these brokers make money. All the unregulated brokerages, at least.
How does that even work for them to make money off clients' losses?
They simply just B-book the unprofitable traders. Whatever their risk analyst or their risk team decides is an unprofitable trader versus a profitable trader, they put them into the B-book. And when a client loses, it goes into the broker's pockets. Versus when a client wins, it goes out of the broker's pockets. But if a client is simply not profitable, even if you withdraw in the short term, right, you're still going to blow your account. Like you could turn 20,000 to 40,000, withdraw 5,000, then blow the 35,000, and the broker takes maybe 35K of your money versus only paying you out $5,000, But if a trader is profitable, then obviously they're not going to continue to pay that trader out of their own pocket. They're going to move them into the A-book. They're going to move them into the A-book where the money's coming out of the liquidity provider's pockets, and the liquidity provider is the one taking the risk. But then if a broker is just uncertain if you're profitable or not, just because, your P&L maybe break even, then they may C-book you. Like there's so many different techniques and different ways that brokers B-book their clients. They literally have strategies against their clients where once their client hits an X amount of drawdown, they'll B-book you. Once they hit X amount of profit, they'll put you back in A-book. Like you'll get transferred in and out.
Did you read any books to learn all this? Or anything specific?
I've just been in the game for quite some time.
Gotcha.
Bro, hold on. So you mean to
I know that's fucked up.
It sounds like if you're in drawdown, does that have a effect on your spreads and positions and commissions and stuff like that when they B-buck you and stuff like that?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, you probably get better spreads in the B book liquidity versus an A book liquidity because, like, in the B book liquidity, you can get probably executed at the same exact price that you're getting in at. If the broker just doesn't want to make money off the spreads, and maybe they're a new broker and want to get as much clients in as possible, because obviously they're going to make more money off of your losses, right? Again, like, there's really nothing wrong with A book, B book at the end of the day. What's fucked is when brokers manipulate their B book liquidity to stop out their traders prematurely. Which I've seen a lot of brokers do that, which is why I tend to, once I find the broker, I tend to like stay put. But especially like if a broker, like when a broker approaches me, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. I mean, even if they tell me they're A book, any broker that's offering you 1 of 500 leverage is B booking. So even if they tell me they're A book, it's like, okay, I'll join your brokerage, no problem. But all of my clients that register under my affiliate link need to be A book. Like, I negotiate with them to get the best deal possible. So off of my clients, they'll only make commissions. So if you guys signed up under Athens on my affiliate link, then you're most likely getting A booked. I can't say for certain because I don't know if in the back, like, yeah, we'll tell him that he's going to be all A booked, but then they're really B booking you. But I'm giving you guys the best deal possible. If you guys sign up through a brokerage without my affiliate link, it's a free for all. I don't know what's going on out there.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Good
Again,
to know, though.
Oh,
when I
that's the
tell you
thing.
guys, when I tell you guys stay away from a broker, it's for a reason. I know what's going on there.
Hey, bro, I got a question about BitBook.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a BitBook and I made 50K in 2 weeks, and I want to make a withdrawal 50K. They have to pay me 100% out of their pocket.
The broker will, out of their pocket, yeah. They're 100% paying out of their pocket if you're B-booked.
But I'm saying they have to pay me. They can't tell me no story about, oh, we can't pay you because of this and that. You know what I'm trying to say?
If they're unregulated, they can, right? They can just walk off if they want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid. I'm afraid they walk off.
If they're unregulated, they don't have to pay you. Typically, a broker will pay you because they're just betting. It's almost like a casino, right? They're betting on you coming back and blowing more money or blowing the rest of your account and making their loss back. Because if you turn 50K into 100K and you withdraw 50K, then you blow the 50K, the broker lost nothing, but they maintained the client. You know? Yeah. And typically, bro, brokers make so much money, they're going to have the money to pay you out like 90% of the time. Unless like there's a real excuse, unless there's a real reason as to why they're not paying you for that time. Sometimes like money laundering with brokerages is a big problem. So what happened to me one time was that I deposited 100K into a brokerage. I did maybe 2 or 3 trades, thought the brokerage was garbage and tried to withdraw. And they're like, nope, we're not giving you your money. Although I only made like $20,000, which is like 20% of what I initially deposited. Like, no, we're not giving you your money. We need proof of income. We need proof of this, and that. Until I provided that information, my 100K was locked.
Whoa.
How do you trust all these brokers, man? Because most of them are in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they all have virtual offices.
Because the majority of the time when a broker approaches me, I speak to a vice president or the CEO directly.
Yeah, like even Athens is over there in the Grenadines, and they even have they have an office, a virtual office, and there's a bunch
of course
other scam brokers in the same virtual office.
Of course, but I mean, I've never really been scammed by a broker. I mean, everybody that identifies what a scam is and defines what a scam is very differently.
Yeah, just not withdrawing.
The liquidity investors got scammed though.
Bro.
Possibly. I mean, it just depends. Because to me, in my eyes, like, I have way more pros and cons trading on an unregulated brokerage versus trading on a regulated brokerage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, when I talk to a CEO, and I see that there's actual money in liquidity, and it's not just like a new brokerage that has nothing in liquidity and is betting on their clients' liquidity to be the liquidity, then typically I'm very comfortable trading on that brokerage. Because again, like, if the brokerage starts off with $1 million in liquidity and they start getting clients, 90% of the clients are going to lose their money anyways. That's what the brokerage is bet on, right? So, you know, I'm not worried about not getting paid out or anything, especially if I could lock in like an A book only type of deal, which typically I get most of the time. then I'm pretty comfortable because again, like a broker should have no problem paying me out if my account is able.
At which point in your career did all these brokers start hitting you up?
Maybe the last 2 years, I want to say. The last 2
Thank you,
years.
man.
Yo, Raul.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm just like wondering about I'm with Leveled Up Society, and for some reason I can't I can't access my account. Like there's something wrong with the password and stuff. Pardon?
You speak to support?
Yeah, but like it's not working for some reason.
What do you mean? Like you just can't place trades?
Nah, I can't even access the account.
Is your account under investigation?
No.
I'm not sure why you can't access. You can't access your trading account or your online profile.
The funded account.
That's weird. I'm not sure. The only reason that you wouldn't be able to access your account is if you're punting accounts.
What does that mean?
Where basically on one funding company you buy an account, you place a buy, and on another funding company you buy an account and you place a sell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm not doing any of that. It's just that the the login details aren't working for some reason.
That's super weird. I would just contact support and they should solve it for you.
Bro, wait a minute.
All right, yeah.
Wait.
And why can't you do it with the buy and
accounts,
sell?
bro? I've never heard that. I'm like,
Bro, like the password and everything is not working for some reason.
Like when you log into your profile, or it's just
like let's say when I go into MetaTrader 5, like because I got the the challenge passed by you, and then let's say I type in the passwords and everything.
Bro,
on Nash Markets, it's not working.
Are you using MetaTrader 4 login for MetaTrader 5? Because that won't work.
Nah, I even tried it on MetaTrader 4 and 5.
That's different.
It's just
different logins.
No, but yeah, I tried for both of them. It still didn't work.
When did you get your account credentials?
Like at the start of the year. Like
that's why. There's been a complete broker change. Everything has changed.
So what do I do from here now? Like
you gotta contact support and let them know exactly what's going on and what happened.
All right, okay, yeah, because I have a personal account and then I got the funded one. So
yeah, you gotta. you gotta
'cause-
contact support and let them know, yo, I need my stage 2 credentials.
Bro,
y'all
shut it down for
I
like
need my money. I need my money.
Yeah, like I remember you guys like shutting it down for a minute, and then I was just trading my personal one, and then I'm like, all right, let me try to go back to the funded one.
Yeah.
And then nothing. Yeah, I just couldn't access it.
Hey, Raul, what broker do you guys use on Level Up?
There's a few that we're trying to implement. It's also on Athens as well.
Oh, so you just recommend I just go contact support?
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry.
That's the only thing.
All right, no problem. All right, thanks.
Hey, Raul, why can't you hit buy on one funded account and sell on the other one?
Because that's not skill.
Hedging.
Yeah, that's all you're doing, which is again the whole point of going to a funded company. You have to look at it from the funded company's perspective. We don't want some guy to come onto our platform to put our money at risk because he's buying on one and selling on the other. Like that's not skill at all. We're looking for skillful traders, not for gamblers.
So wait, you cannot have multiple prop firm at
No,
the same
you
time?
can, but it's like if I go to FTMO and I buy a funded account, and I go to Leveled Up and buy another funded account, I'm simply trading the same pair at the same time, placing a buy on one account, placing a sell on the other account. Whichever one hits.
How do
they know? Yeah.
Because a lot of these funded companies are linked together with the same management system.
Secrets, bro.
That's like you put like sell stop and buy stop at NFP.
There's even a funded company blacklist.
Yeah, literally.
So if you're a client that gets caught doing that, you'll get blacklisted. You can even get blacklisted to your hardware ID.
Oh shit.
That means you
Raul, I'm sorry, can I buy 200,000 accounts in
Yeah.
Level Up at the same time?
Yeah, 400K, yeah.
Okay, at the
As
same
long
time.
as you don't punt them, yeah, you're good.
What is it?
As long as you don't punt them, then yeah, you're good.
Oh, no. Just to connect it at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So wait, Raw, if you were to get 2 funded accounts,